Welcome to the Deep Dive. So today we're tackling something that, well, it sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? Maybe even a little lazy. Can you actually get smarter, gain real wisdom without all the usual, hitting the books, the dedicated study sessions?
It's a fascinating question, and it's really relevant for you, the listener, because let's face it, you're busy. Life pulls you in a million directions, time gets chopped up. Sitting down with a dense book, that feels like a real luxury sometimes, maybe one you feel you just don't have.
Right. And maybe you even feel like you're, getting stupid because there's just no time for that kind of deep reading anymore. If that sounds like you, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Yeah, that feeling is exactly where our main source, our case study today, starts. We're following the journey of someone called Nam.
Okay.
He used to be a big reader, saw himself as an expert, always diving into books. But then life got crazy busy, schedule tightened up, and he felt his learning just stalled.
So what happened?
He stumbled almost accidentally onto this idea he calls the School of Life.
The School of Life. Okay, sounds intriguing.
And in this school, there's really only one subject, Theotrine. It roughly translates to following the conversation.
Following the conversation.
Exactly. And our mission today is to really dig into this one kind of counterintuitive skill he discovered, a skill that leads to immediate practical wisdom.
And what's the skill?
It's pretty radical, actually. It's about destroying the urge to speak.
Destroying the urge to speak. Wow. Okay, let's unpack that straight away.
Yeah.
Because that flies in the face of, well, almost everything we think about communication, about being helpful.
Absolutely. Nam's whole realization started when he recognized this incredibly common trap in conversations.
Which is?
The obsession with what the source calls the need to speak. That feeling that you have to jump in, offer your take, your solution.
Why is that so bad? Isn't contributing good?
Well, the need itself can be toxic because it shifts the focus. Instead of learning from the conversation, you're just looking for a chance to validate yourself, to show what you know.
Oh, okay. I see.
And when someone shares something difficult, a problem, maybe a vulnerability, that need to speak leads directly into what we can call the 3 conversational death traps.
Death traps. Sounds serious. Tell us what they are.
Okay, the first one, and it's often the quickest reaction, is rushing to give solutions.
Right, the fixer.
Exactly. Someone shares their pain, their problem, and boom, before they've even finished, your brain is already spitting out fixes. Oh, you should take Pill X, or have you tried this app? It worked for me.
You jump straight into advisor mode.
Instantly. You stop being a listener and become an immediate fixer.
Okay, but hang on. Offering a solution, isn't that generally seen as, helpful? How do we know when we're genuinely helping versus falling into this trap?
That's the tricky part. The intention might feel helpful, but the impact often isn't, because it shuts down their chance to explore the issue themselves. And that leads to the second trap, stealing the forum.
Stealing the forum. How does that work?
Someone's sharing their unique situation, their struggle, and you jump in with, oh, I know exactly what you mean. I had that too. Actually, my situation was even a bit worse, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. Seen that happen.
Right. You completely derail their moment of sharing to make it about your story.
So they came looking for a bit of understanding, and now suddenly they're supposed to listen to your problem.
Precisely. It flips the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
And the third trap is rushing to judge or criticize.
Ouch.
Yeah. This often happens if the problem shared sounds like maybe they made a mistake. You hear things like, well, if you'd just planned better, or, you must have done something wrong to end up there.
So fixing, stealing the spotlight, or judging. All 3 basically kill the conversation as a learning opportunity.
They kill the genuine flow, yes. They stop Theotrine. So the core method Nam started using was this conscious shift, moving from leading the conversation, advising, fixing, talking to following it.
Following. Theotrine.
Instead of mentally rehearsing his brilliant response, he focused only on asking open-ended, genuinely curious, non-judgmental questions.
It sounds so simple when you say it like that.
Yeah.
But I bet it takes real mental effort, like fighting an instinct.
Oh, absolutely. It requires real discipline. But the payoff, as Nam found, can be immediate. We see it clearly in his first big lesson, which basically gave him free health insights.
Okay, let's hear about lesson 1. Understanding the profile of illness. So the scenario is Nam's colleague, Lynn, sends him a message one morning. Simple, I'm sick today.
Right. And Nam feels that instant pull, that knee-jerk reaction, the expert urge to suggest a remedy, ask about symptoms.
But he stopped himself.
He fought it off. Instead of offering the pill or the advice, he just opened a door. He typed back a simple, genuinely curious following question. Geez, why are you sick? Not what medicine are you taking or what are your symptoms? Just why?
And what happened next wasn't just about her cold symptoms, was it? It was the bigger picture.
Exactly. It became a whole learning profile. Lynn's story wasn't just, I caught a bug. It unfolded into this complete blueprint of behavioral cause and effect.
Okay.
She admitted she routinely stays up really late watching movies, often until 2 a.m.
Wow.
Then, because she's up and gets hungry, she eats late-night instant noodles.
Uh-oh.
But wait, there's more. After eating, she doesn't go right to sleep. She scrolls on her phone for another hour or so.
Oh, man. The trifecta.
Right. So then she finally sleeps, wakes up feeling sluggish, irritable, and then gets sick.
So Nam didn't offer a single piece of advice, no lectures on sleep hygiene or nutrition.
Not a word of advice. He just practiced Theo Twin, following her story. But the insight he gained from just listening, it was huge and immediately actionable for him.
What was the big insight?
He got the complete pattern, the profile, of someone likely to get sick easily. Staying up late leads to eating late, leads to more screen time, leads to poor sleep, leads to irritability, leads to getting sick.
Full chain reaction.
Exactly. And it taught him that maybe 80% of staying healthy isn't about mastering some complicated wellness plan. It's about looking at Lynn's pattern and simply not doing that.
Huh. Avoid the pitfalls.
Yes. The person suffering the consequence, Lynn in this case, became his free, real-world data source on what not to do.
So the value isn't just, being a nice, empathetic listener. It's actually leveraging someone else's experience, their mistakes even, as data for your own life. That's real practical wisdom.
And he learned it without reading a single medical journal or self-help book.
That's powerful. Okay, so that was health. Let's move to lesson 2.
Yeah.
You said this was a higher level, about emotional intelligence.
Yeah, this one gets into emotional finesse, subtle communication, respect. It came from a situation with his friend Hung, who was really deeply upset after a dinner out.
And the cause sounds almost trivial on the surface, but clearly it wasn't.
Right. The setup. Nam, Hung, and another friend, Koa, are out for dinner. The menu arrives, and Hung felt totally invisible, erased almost.
Why? What did Koa do?
Koa just reached out, snatched the menu. That's the word Hung used. Snatched.
Wow, okay.
And without even looking at Hung, without asking what he might like, Koa just ordered 5 dishes that he, Koa, wanted.
Just like that. Didn't ask at all.
Didn't ask, didn't make eye contact, just took control, ordered his preferences, completely monopolized the choice, the moment.
Okay, I can see how that would sting. But again, the temptation must have been there for Nam to just say, come on, Hung, you're being a bit sensitive, right?
Yeah.
How did Nam avoid that judgment trap? The snotty advice, as the source calls it.
This is where Theo Twin really shines. Instead of judging Hung's reaction, Nam treated Hung like a teacher.
A teacher.
The teacher of high-value social wisdom. He didn't see Hung as a complainer, but as someone revealing a deep truth about social interaction. What's fascinating here is by following Hung's feeling, his pain point, Nam realized the lesson wasn't really about whether Koa intended to be mean. Maybe Koa was just thoughtless, oblivious.
Probably just careless.
Exactly. But by following the impact on Hung, Nam understood the real pain that carelessness can cause. That feeling of being completely overlooked, disregarded, made secondary. It's a small action, snatching a menu, but it communicated a huge lack of respect.
So the learning wasn't some abstract rule from an etiquette book. It was a felt understanding, learned directly from witnessing the emotional consequence of that carelessness.
Precisely. And that understanding wasn't just theoretical for Nam. It immediately changed his own behavior.
How so?
His whole approach to similar situations shifted. Now, whenever he's dining out with someone, he makes a point proactively of offering the menu first. He'll say something like, "Here, you take a look first. What do you feel like today?"
That little gesture.
It's a small act, but it's an intentional act of deference, of respect. And it wasn't learned from reading about respect. It was learned from listening carefully to someone else's pain.
That makes a lot of sense. It also raises a bigger question, though. Why do we struggle with this? As adults, why is just listening, just following so hard? What is it that makes us want to jump in and talk so much?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think the root cause goes back to how we see ourselves, especially around imperfection and learning.
How do you mean?
Think about when we're kids. Falling down, babbling nonsense, making mistakes. It's all just part of learning, right? We're naturally students.
Yeah, it's expected.
But somewhere along the line, as we become adults, we often flip that switch. We start believing we're supposed to know already.
Right. We trade in our learner's permit for an expert badge, even if we haven't earned it.
Exactly. Mistakes stop feeling like learning opportunities and start feeling like threats to our status, our identity as someone who knows things.
So we protect that identity by talking, by asserting our knowledge.
We start loving our need to speak, which feels like validation more than our fundamental need to learn. And you see the consequences everywhere.
Like where?
In relationships and families, even in work meetings. When everyone is digging in their heels, insisting on speaking, shouting their opinion louder, nobody's actually listening.
Volume goes up, understanding goes down.
Precisely. The source points out that this is often the root of conflict, the breakdown that leads to that awful, draining silence in unhappy relationships. People just get bored of the conflict and stop talking altogether.
Because they've lost that sensitivity, that ability to truly follow the other person.
They've lost the skill of Theo Twain. Which brings us really nicely to Nam's final test, the ultimate challenge, applying this in the most emotionally charged environment.
The family.
Exactly. The story goes, Nam's wife, Mai, comes home one day, clearly upset, slams her bag down, angry, swearing about something awful that happened at work. It's that classic high-stress, end-of-day scenario.
Okay. High stakes. And Nam, presumably more practiced by now, saw the potential pitfalls immediately.
Yes. He instantly recognized the two typical unhelpful reactions he could have. The two stupid options, as the source puts it.
Oh, where are they?
Option 1, the negative, self-centered reaction. Basically making it about him. Starting a fight with something like, oh great, what now? I'm tired too, you know?
Yeah, defensive. Bad move.
Terrible move. Option 2, the expert reaction. Putting on his analyst hat and saying, okay, tell me exactly what happened so I can figure out what you did wrong this time.
Oof. Also bad. Trying to fix her by analyzing her faults.
Both would just pour fuel on the fire, right? Escalate everything.
So what did he do instead? He used the technique?
Yeah.
Destroy the desire to advise.
He did. He stayed calm. He encouraged her to sit down, maybe eat something. And then he just became like a wall of understanding, a sounding board. But, and this is crucial, he offered zero solutions.
Okay, but does the other person, does Mai in this case, ever feel kind of abandoned? If you're just listening and not offering fixes?
That's the key difference. Abandonment comes from emotional distance, from judgment, from not caring. Nam wasn't distant. He was fully present. He wasn't judging. He was accepting.
So it's active listening, but without the advice part.
Exactly. He guided her venting, but only using following questions. Things like, wow, what exactly did she say then? Or, and how did you feel right at that moment? He wasn't trying to solve her problem with her boss. He was helping her process the emotion of it, absorbing the impact for her in a way.
And the result? How did Maya react to this?
It was apparently quite remarkable. She vented, really let it all out for maybe 30 minutes. And afterwards, she visibly relaxed. She smiled and said, I feel so much lighter now.
Wow. Just from venting to a non-judgmental listener.
Just from being truly heard and understood, the conflict, the stress, it was neutralized. Not by brilliant advice, not by fixing the situation, but simply by the act of deep, empathetic listening, understanding.
So the core takeaway for Nam was huge then.
Immense. He realized that true strength, true greatness in a relationship isn't about proving who's right or who has the best solutions. It's about achieving mutual understanding.
And the only way to get there
is to master the discipline of destroying the need to talk, to prioritize listening over speaking.
Okay, this really brings us to the practical application, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Because Nam's story isn't just an interesting anecdote. It shows that knowledge, real wisdom, even stronger relationships and love, they seem to just naturally flow to you when you practice this skill.
It becomes a system almost.
And the core mantra is so simple yet so hard.
Yeah.
Follow, don't lead.
Right. So for you listening, we've pulled out 3 really concrete practice drills from Nam's experiences, things you can literally start doing today.
Okay, let's hear them. Drill number 1.
This is the health excuse drill. So the very next time someone mentions they're tired or feeling sick or run down, bite your tongue.
Resist the urge to play doctor.
Resist the urge. Don't suggest a remedy. Don't diagnose. Instead, just ask that simple, open question. Oh, really? Geez, why? Or what's been going on? And then listen. Listen intently to their story, their habits. You're not fixing them. You're gathering free intelligence on patterns to potentially avoid in your own life.
Learning what not to do by listening. Okay, makes sense. Drill number 2.
This one tackles that social finesse piece, the subtle respect we saw with Hung. It's a subtle menu drill.
Right, the menu snatching incident.
Exactly. So next time you're eating out with anyone, could be a colleague, friend, your partner, anyone, make a conscious, proactive effort to yield the choice first. Physically push the menu towards them, or just say clearly, hey, why don't you look first? See what you feel like today.
Such a small thing.
Tiny, but it's a powerful practice in showing deference and respect. It communicates you matter.
Okay, good one. And the third drill. This sounds like the toughest one.
It probably is. This is the wall of empathy drill. This is for those high-stakes family or close relationship moments.
Like when Mike came home angry.
Precisely. When a family member, partner, or close friend comes to you upset, complaining about their awful day, their frustrations, view it as a test of your theochwint skills, your maturity.
And the task.
Your task is simply to be that calm, non-judgmental wall of understanding. Your job is only to listen and ask clarifying, following questions like, what happened next? Or how did that make you feel? You have to actively, consciously destroy that urge to teach them, to critique them, to tell them what they should have done differently. Just listen.
Just absorb and reflect. No fixing.
No fixing. It's about providing the space for them to process, not providing the answers.
These are great practical exercises. So wrapping this up, the ultimate lesson from Nam's journey, the core wisdom here is...
It's really about a fundamental choice in perspective.
Yeah.
Choose to remain a student of life, a fellow learner, rather than always trying to be the teacher, the expert, the advisor.
Be a student, not a teacher.
If you can do that, if you can genuinely practice following the conversation, you'll likely find yourself becoming wiser, calmer, more connected, and frankly, more effective in your interactions. And it happens almost automatically just by choosing to, well, destroy that constant need to speak your piece.
It's a powerful reframe. We all have this deep, fundamental human need to feel heard, don't we? Yet we so often forget the essential skill required on the other side of that. The skill of truly listening.
Yeah.
So here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on today. If the interactions around you are constantly offering lessons like, Nam discovered what vital piece of wisdom, what important insight might you be missing right now, simply because you're too busy thinking about your next clever comment, instead of just quieting down and truly following the story unfolding in front of you.
That's the challenge.
It really is. So we encourage you, pick one person, maybe just one conversation today, and make a conscious effort to practice theochwint. Follow, don't lead. See what wisdom you unlock just by listening differently. You might be stunned.